one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Your chaos is not your weakness. It is the raw material from which your greatness is born. Because the world does not reward the quiet and the comfortable. It rewards those who dare to harness their inner storms. And if you don't learn to embrace that chaos, you'll never create anything powerful enough to change your life. Without it, you become predictable, forgettable, another face lost in the crowd. But within that chaos lives the very energy that can tear down everything false and rebuild something real. The question is not whether you have chaos, it's whether you have the courage to use it. Because only those who master their inner disorder ever rise to create a life that others can only dream of. But here's what nobody understands about chaos. We've been taught to see it as the enemy, the thing to fix, the problem to solve. Every self-help book, every meditation app, every piece of advice you've ever received, they all say the same thing. Calm down, find balance, get centered. What if they're all wrong? What if the very thing they're telling you to eliminate is the source of every breakthrough humanity has ever had? Every innovation, every work of art, every revolution, none of them came from balance. They came from someone who refused to quiet their inner storm. Nietzsche saw this. He watched an entire civilization trying to medicate away the very force that creates greatness. He called them the last men, people who chose comfort over creation, who invented happiness while their souls rotted from the inside. They blink, they smile, they say everything's fine, but they're already dead, and they want you to join them. Think about it. How many times have you been told you're too much, too intense, too complicated, think too much, want too much? That restlessness that never goes away, that feeling of being surrounded by people but completely alone, that frustration when everyone else seems satisfied with surface-level everything. They told you it's anxiety. They told you to calm down, to be realistic, to lower your expectations. But deep down you know you're not too much. Everyone else is too little. You're not broken. You're just awake in a world of people asleep. Here's what's actually happening. That restlessness you feel, it's not anxiety. It's your life force recognizing you're living at 10% capacity. That chaos everyone tells you to meditate away, it's intelligence. It's your authentic self banging against the prison walls. But nobody told you this. Know why? Because chaos terrifies them. Your intensity exposes their emptiness. Your fire makes their lukewarm existence unbearable to look at. So they convinced you that you're the problem. They gave you breathing exercises. They sold you calm. They medicated your power. And it almost worked. Look what they've done to you. Dimmed your fire. Caged your storm. But not completely. Not yet. You're still here. Still searching. Still feeling that pull towards something more. You want to know the truth? The real truth that would make your therapist quit? You don't have too much chaos. You have too much control forced on you. You're not too intense. You're too suppressed by their rules. You're not broken. You're domesticated by a system that fears your power. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. Was it during your morning meditation? During your balanced routine? Or was it in the middle of beautiful chaos, when you were creating something from nothing, when everything was falling apart, and you were the only one who could fix it, when you were so deep in the storm that time disappeared? That's what scares them, not your chaos, your potential. But here's what they don't want you to realize. Every time they tell you to calm down, they're not protecting you. They're protecting themselves from your truth, from your intensity, from the mirror you hold up that shows them their own abandoned dreams. You make them uncomfortable because you remind them of what they gave up. Every time you speak with passion, you expose their apathy. Every time you refuse to accept good enough, you reveal their surrender. Every time you question the rules, you highlight their obedience. That's the real reason they need you to be less. Not for your sake, for theirs. Nietzsche called it will to power. Everyone gets this wrong. They think it means dominating others. It doesn't. It means taking your raw, chaotic energy and becoming who you actually are. Not who they want, not who's acceptable, who you are. But here's the part that will disturb you. There are only two choices, two types of humans, no middle ground. You're either the last man or you're becoming the Übermensch. The last man chooses comfort, eliminates struggle, avoids chaos, takes antidepressants to feel nothing rather than everything, scrolls through life, waits for Friday, then dies. The Übermensch, they do something terrifying. They partner with their chaos. They don't overcome it. They ride it. They understand something the last men never will. Chaos isn't the enemy of creation. It is creation. You know what this means, don't you? They've trained you to choose comfort over growth, and every time you do, a piece of your soul dies. They've taught you to suppress your intensity to fit in, and every time you do, they win. They've convinced you to apologize for your fire, and every time you do, your destiny gets dimmer. But here's the thing about destiny. It doesn't disappear. It waits. It haunts you in quiet moments. It shows up as regret, as that voice at night asking, "What if?" As that ache when you see someone living fully while you're managing your chaos, like it's a chronic illness. Still watching? Then you already know which one you're becoming. Subscribe if you're ready for what comes next. Most aren't. But knowing isn't enough. Because here's what Nietzsche understood that nobody talks about. Your specific chaos is coded with instructions. The entrepreneur's chaos feels different from the artist's. The revolutionary storm doesn't look like the inventor's. They've been forcing you to channel your chaos through someone else's system. That's why nothing works. That's why you still feel empty even after doing everything right. The meditation that calms others agitates you. The routine that grounds others suffocates you. The balance that saves others kills you. Because your chaos has intelligence. It knows exactly what kind of dancing star you're meant to become. And this intelligence, it's been trying to tell you something. Every burst of restlessness, every moment of frustration, every time you felt like exploding while everyone else seemed fine, that wasn't weakness. That was your chaos giving you directions. Directions you've been taught to ignore. Here's what nobody will tell you about choosing chaos. You'll lose people, a lot of them. The moment you stop dimming yourself, they'll call you selfish. The moment you stop apologizing for your intensity, they'll call you arrogant. The moment you embrace your chaos, they'll call you dangerous. Good. You are dangerous. Dangerous to their comfort, dangerous to their excuses, dangerous to the collective agreement to stay small. But here's the deeper truth about this danger. It's not violence, it's vitality. It's not destruction for destruction's sake. It's the breaking down of everything false so something real can emerge. You become dangerous the way truth is dangerous to lies, the way light is dangerous to shadows, the way growth is dangerous to stagnation. Nietzsche lived this, isolated, misunderstood, called insane. And in that isolation, he found something. Freedom. The freedom to think without permission, to create without approval, to exist without apology. You want to know the price of mastering your chaos? Everything fake in your life will burn. Every comfortable lie will die. Every relationship built on you being less will end. The small talk will become unbearable. The surface-level friendships will dissolve. The jobs that require you to pretend will become impossible. The life you built while suppressed won't fit the person you're becoming. And for a moment, maybe a long moment, you'll stand in the ruins, wondering if you've made a terrible mistake. But here's the secret that makes it worth it. When you finally stop treating your chaos like a disease and start treating it like sacred fire, something shifts. Not outside, inside. You'll walk into rooms and people will feel it before you speak. That thing they can't name, but can't ignore. You'll stop explaining yourself. Stop defending your intensity. Stop pretending you're satisfied with conversations about weather. You'll create things that didn't exist before because they couldn't exist, not until someone with your specific chaos brought them to life. 6 months from now, you'll look back at who you are today. This person trying to organize their chaos into submission, and you won't recognize them. You'll wonder how you lived so long at 10% power, how you survived on crumbs when you were built for the feast. But the real transformation goes deeper. Your relationships will transform, not because you'll find better people, but because you'll stop accepting anything that requires you to be less. The people who stay, they'll be the ones who love your fire, not despite it, but because of it. The ones who need your intensity because it ignites their own. Your work will transform. Not because you'll necessarily change careers, but because you'll stop doing anything that doesn't let you create from your chaos. You'll either revolutionize where you are, or you'll leave. There's no middle ground when you're operating at full power. Others will say you've changed. They're wrong. You've just stopped hiding. They'll say you're too much. They're right. You are too much. For them. They'll say you think you're better than everyone. Also, wrong. You just stopped pretending you're worse. This isn't about becoming reckless. It's about becoming real. This isn't about chaos for chaos's sake. It's about chaos for creation's sake. Your future self isn't calmer. They're more powerfully chaotic. They just stopped apologizing for it. That version of you, the one who channels chaos into creation, who builds dancing stars from inner storms, they're not years away. They're one decision away. The decision to stop asking, how do I fix this feeling? And start asking, what is this feeling trying to create through me? And when you make that shift, when you finally partner with your chaos instead of fighting it, you'll understand what Nietzsche meant when he said you need chaos to give birth to a dancing star. The star isn't something outside of you. The star is you. Burning, creating, illuminating, unapologetic. Comment, I am chaos below. Not if you think you're ready. If you know you're already burning. If you're done pretending that comfort is enough. If you're ready to find out what happens when you stop taming yourself and start creating from the storm. Because the world doesn't need another success story built on suppression. It needs your chaos, your specific chaos, your dancing star that can only be born from your beautiful disaster. Everyone else is trying to find peace. You're about to find power. Now stop hiding from it. Start creating with it. The storm isn't coming. You are the storm. And storms change landscapes.